Welcome to TrumpWire, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Coffee isn't just a drink, it's a daily ritual that starts mornings and fuels conversations around the world. For millions, the day doesn't truly begin until that first sip. Whether it's brewed at home, grabbed on the go, or shared with friends, coffee is woven into the fabric of daily life. In the US, coffee is everywhere, found in homes, bustling offices, and on nearly every street corner. Cafes and coffee shops are social hubs where people gather to work, meet, or simply enjoy a moment of calm. But before it reaches your cup, coffee's journey begins far away. Brazil stands as the world's coffee powerhouse, producing and exporting more beans than any other nation on earth. The coffee industry is a cornerstone of Brazil's economy, shaping rural communities and providing jobs for millions of families who depend on the harvest. North of the border, Canadian coffee culture is just as strong. Chains like Tim Hortons and countless independent cafes keep the nation caffeinated, making coffee a beloved part of Canadian identity. Yet Canada relies almost entirely on imports, forging vital connections with coffee-producing countries like Brazil. These ties are crucial for keeping the nation's mugs full. Any disruption in the global coffee supply chain, whether from weather, politics, or economics, quickly becomes headline news, sending prices soaring and leaving shelves empty. Today's story connects all three nations: a major policy shift in Brazil, a furious political reaction in the US, and a strategic new partnership for Canada, all centered around this humble bean. It's a powerful reminder that a single decision in South America can ripple across continents, changing the price and even the availability of your morning cup in North America. Coffee isn't just a beverage, it's a global connector, linking farmers, traders, baristas, and drinkers in a vast, intricate web. The stakes are high, and the world is watching as markets react and leaders negotiate. Let's dive in and see how one crop can spark international drama, shaping economies and daily lives across the globe. On August 10, 2025, Brazil shocked the world with a dramatic announcement that sent ripples through the global coffee industry. The government declared a 20% cut in coffee exports, a move that immediately caught the attention of traders, roasters, and coffee lovers worldwide. The main goal? To protect the domestic supply and stabilize prices at home, ensuring that everyday Brazilians can still afford their morning cup. Years of relentless droughts and unexpected frosts have battered Brazil's coffee farms, slashing yields and sparking real fears of shortages for local families and businesses. By keeping more beans within its borders, Brazil hopes to shield its people from soaring prices and empty shelves, preserving a cherished part of daily life. But there's another layer. Brazil is pushing to process more coffee domestically, investing in roasting, grinding, and packaging facilities to export finished products instead of just raw beans. This strategy is about more than just supply. It's about creating new jobs, boosting local economies, and allowing Brazil to capture more of the profits from its most famous crop, rather than sending that value overseas. While the export cuts aren't targeted at any single country, the United States, being one of the largest importers of Brazilian coffee, will likely feel the pinch most acutely, with potential shortages and rising prices. Brazil's message to the world is clear: it's time to rethink its role in the global coffee market and to recognize its power as the world's coffee powerhouse. This bold move is about more than economics. It's about national pride, self-sufficiency, and securing a better future for Brazilian farmers and families. The world's largest coffee producer is no longer content to just supply raw beans. It's stepping up to shape the future of coffee itself. Brazil wants a bigger seat at the table, influencing not just supply, but how coffee is valued and traded worldwide. The ripple effects of this decision are only just beginning to be felt, with uncertainty spreading across the global coffee industry. Coffee drinkers everywhere, from New York to Tokyo, are about to feel the impact in their wallets and their morning routines. Brazil's export cuts sparked outrage from former US President Donald Trump. On social media, he called the move a betrayal and an attack on Americans. Trump framed the issue as a challenge to his America First trade legacy. He demanded retaliatory tariffs on Brazilian goods and accused the current administration of weakness. For Trump, this isn't just about coffee, it's about American power and respect on the world stage. The news that Canada secured a major coffee deal with Brazil only fueled his anger. Trump's reaction turned a trade policy into a political firestorm, dominating headlines and pressuring the White House to respond. The coffee crisis is now a hot topic in U.S. politics. What started as a supply issue is now a test of national pride. While the U.S. fumed, Canada made its move. On August 12, 2025, Canada and a group of coffee companies announced a $1.2 billion deal with Brazil. Months in the making, the agreement guarantees Canada a steady supply of premium Arabica beans for 5 years. The deal also includes Canadian investment in sustainable farming and modern processing in Brazil. It's a win-win. Brazil gets capital and support for its coffee industry, while Canada secures its morning brew. Canadian negotiators focused on partnership and long-term stability, not confrontation. The result? Stable prices and a reliable supply for Canadian consumers and businesses. The deal is being hailed as a triumph of diplomacy and foresight. Canada's proactive approach stands in sharp contrast to the U.S. response. In a volatile market, Canada has locked in its coffee future. Sometimes quiet strategy beats loud politics. The impact of Brazil's export cuts and Canada's deal will be felt on both sides of the border, but in very different ways. In the US, less Brazilian coffee means higher prices. Coffee companies will scramble for new suppliers, driving up costs for everyone. Economists predict a 15–25% jump in coffee prices for American consumers. Small cafes may struggle most, forced to raise prices or cut profits. In Canada, the story is different. Thanks to the $1.2 billion deal, supply is secure and prices are expected to stay stable. Canadian consumers can keep enjoying their daily coffee without worry. This is a clear example of how international trade policy hits home. In the US, uncertainty and rising costs. In Canada, stability and confidence. The difference will be clear in every cup. Sometimes diplomacy really does pay off. The public response in the US is tense. Anxiety, anger, and political finger-pointing dominate the conversation. Politicians call for retaliation, while the administration urges diplomacy and tries to avoid a trade war. The State Department is in talks with Brazil, but pressure is mounting to act tough. Meanwhile, Canadian headlines celebrate a diplomatic victory. The government is praised for its foresight and strategic planning. Canadians express relief that their coffee prices are safe. The deal is seen as a model of smart, stable trade policy. The contrast is stark. US faces a crisis. Canada enjoys a win. The Canadian government uses the moment to highlight its commitment to reliable partnerships. For Canadians, it's a point of national pride. For Americans, it's a wake-up call about the risks of global supply chains. Two countries, two very different mornings. The world is watching how each responds. The coffee story is far from over. In fact, we may be entering a new chapter that will affect millions of people around the world, from farmers to baristas to everyday coffee drinkers. In the US, higher prices and a scramble for new suppliers are likely. Retailers and importers are already feeling the pressure, searching for ways to keep shelves stocked and customers satisfied. This could make the market less dependent on Brazil in the long run, as companies diversify their sources. But for now, consumers will pay more at the register, and some favorite brands may become harder to find. The coffee crisis is sure to be a political talking point in upcoming elections. Politicians may debate trade policies, tariffs, and how to protect American consumers from global price shocks. In Canada, the 5-year deal brings stability and could attract new investment in the food and beverage sector. Canadian businesses may see this as a chance to innovate and expand their coffee offerings. The agreement may become a blueprint for future trade deals, influencing how countries negotiate not just coffee, but other essential goods. Brazil's bold move could inspire other coffee producers to prioritize domestic markets and value-added exports, strengthening their own economies and changing the balance of power in the coffee world. The global coffee trade is shifting, with more power moving to producer countries. This could lead to new alliances and unexpected partnerships across continents. The world will watch Brazil's next steps closely, as every decision could send ripples through the global market. This is about more than coffee. It's about changing global trade and how nations respond to new economic realities. For most people, it comes down to the price and availability of their daily cup. But behind every sip, there's a complex web of decisions and negotiations. What happens next in Brazil, Washington, and Ottawa will shape mornings for years to come, influencing not just what we drink, but how we connect with the world. The simple act of drinking coffee is now part of a global story, one that's still being written, one cup at a time.